I always say we don't have time to hear why the haters love us today.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of On Display with me, Melissa Gorga. I'm super excited today. You guys know I love when I have housewives on, and I have a juicy podcast for you today because I have such a great guest. She's a successful businesswoman. She's the host of the Wild Rose podcast. And I mean, let's be real. You all know her as the fan favorite on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the lovely Whitney Rose with me today. Hi.
Hi, wow, what an introduction. You made me blush.
Oh, well, good. That's what I want to do. How are you, honey? So good to see you.
Yeah, so good to see you too. You have to bear with me today. I just got a Moxie laser, so I look terrifying.
No, so wait, are you red?
I am so red. I don't know if it like reads through the screen or not, but I have red dots all over.
I see. Wait, so what was that? Was that is it like a Fraxel? Like what kind of laser is that?
You know what? To be honest with you, I have no idea. I just know that it's the only laser. Well, there's a couple lasers. I have really bad melasma, so I have to be careful. I don't
Same. Wait, so do I. That's why I want to know if this is safe for melasma.
It's for melasma and rosacea. So it has two different types of color, red and blue. So it treats all of your problems like melasma, rosacea, redness, blue veins. Like it's amazing.
Really?
But you look like I have been walking around like a freaking freak for the last 2 days. I went to my daughter's soccer training last night with a new team, and everyone was just staring at me because I was bright red and swollen, and I was just like, I have no shame.
You have no shame.
Skincare is my game, and I'm here for it.
You just have to make the announcement. Yep, just had a facial. We're good. Just had a laser. Like all good. And isn't it kind of funny because now you're known over there. I'm sure you're on a hit TV show, which we are going to talk about that show a little bit later on. But is it kind of odd for you, especially so you said last night you went and it's a new team. So there's all new moms and it's like I've noticed even for me, like once they get used to you being there, it's like no big deal. But when you enter the room and it's like all new people, it kind of starts all over again, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's, season 4 was such a big season for us. So I would say it's even crazier now.
Oh, for sure.
People kind of, it's almost like that when you walk in, right? And it's like instead of seeing the glam Whitney, it's like here I am in all my glory after a laser treatment.
Of course.
You live your life. Like I've just learned that I can't care about how I look all the time, or I've got to do me too. Like that's
1,000%. I don't know if it was a thing as I'm getting older or if I'm just getting more comfortable in my skin, but I have finally stopped putting any type of tinted moisturizer on or any type of foundation when I go to the gym. Like I used to, and I'm a gym girl, so I go to the gym every morning, almost every morning. So I used to wake up and be like, I can't just put lotion on and leave. Like I need to curl my eyelashes. I need to put the tinted moist, but it would be uncomfortable when I work out. I don't want anything on my skin when I'm sweating. So I want to say within the last year, just wake up, put moisturizer on and walk out the door and just I don't give a shit anymore. Even right now, I don't have a stitch of makeup on. I just put lip gloss on at all times because I feel like you could fool people if you have lip gloss on. That's the way to go.
I always keep lip gloss in my pocket. Nothing else. I have nothing on right now besides my red, beautiful, spotchy face. But I think that that's called self-love. I think it does come with age and experience and wisdom, but also when you become so comfortable with who you are. And I feel like Housewives has really taught me that, honestly.
For sure. 100%.
Okay with not being in full glam all the time. Because I used to do the same. I'm like, why am I getting ready to go to the gym? Who am I trying to impress?
It's so true. And I do think people respect us more when you walk in without the makeup on, a hot mess like most moms are when they're running around in the morning with their kids or whatever it is. And I feel like it's just, I don't know. I feel like it just makes you more relatable. And it's better. It took me a minute though. I used to always be like, I can't go without everything. So it's relieving.
It is. I think, and then you find a new sense of confidence and sexiness in being in your own skin. And that is empowering as a woman, I think.
For sure. For sure. Is it weird when you go to the gays? Does everyone come talk to you? Do they ask you questions? Do they kind of respect that you're there with your kids? How is that going now? Because you've been on the show for how long?
That was our fourth season. And
Okay.
I don't think it's officially been announced, but we are heading into another one. So
Well, I would imagine after that reunion, I don't think you're giving us any I think we all knew that was coming for sure.
yeah, I think we're safe to talk about it because it's been all over Instagram that Monica's not coming back. So it's
Yes.
been nuts. It has changed. Like season one, everyone was so excited to be like, "Are you Whitney?" And then now it's just crazy. A lot of I would say like in Utah around my community, people are just used to it. But when I go somewhere new, it's definitely people want to come talk to me, talk about it. And what's fascinating, you probably get this with your show too, is a lot of male fans. Like
Oh, a
a lot of
ton.
husbands are tuning into Housewives now. Like I'm shocked by the amount of men that come up on the sports fields and are like, you know what? I have to admit, I'm a huge fan of your show. My wife made me watch it, and now I'm addicted.
All day long. If you think that happens there, could you imagine the Jersey? Like the men are,
Oh,
it's crazy. Men are so prominent on Jersey. And obviously, my husband's like very known on this show. So, like, everywhere we go, it's men. It's a lot of men. You would be surprised. I feel like your show also highlights the men, I think, a little bit more than the other shows. So that makes sense that like the men are watching you guys a lot too. I feel like, when we incorporate the men, it kind of it drags in the men to be able to relate a little bit, and they like to even see like the husband and wife issues that are going on, and they'll relate. Like even when Joe watches the other shows, he's like, see, you do that. Like, see, like he's watching like Kyle and Mauricio right now, and little things, he's like, see what happens after time, everybody changes and blah blah blah. And it's like the men like to relate to what's going on, like, with you girls. Like they like to relate. And you and your husband, you guys have a very like similar relationship, I would say, to Joe and I, right? Where it was hard for you, like in the beginning, he was a very protective husband, and it was hard to like maneuver your own found success and being on the show. Tell me about that a little bit.
yeah, it was hard because first of all, before I became a housewife, I realized I had the most cush housewife life ever. Like, why did I go chase bigger dreams and ambitions? Because I did. I like had my responsibilities of the home and the kids, and Justin provided a very beautiful life for us. And um, he's always been in support of me though. Like when I wanted to go back to school, when I wanted to start my business, when I wanted to do the show, he's always been my biggest cheerleader. But the dynamic shift was what we didn't expect to come, right? You just think that you're going to keep growing and doing all these things and nothing will change.
Right.
But the truth of it is that as I started all of this, I'm now no longer able to dedicate full time to the children, full time to him, full time to the house. And it has been very difficult because he is 18 years older than me. So he was raised in a very like traditional family, LDS. This is the life that we know, but Justin has he's an open person. He has an open mind, open heart, and he just loves me so much that it took time, but I would say we're at a place now where it's like 50-50, like
Right.
equally. It really truly is. When we go to make a decision, when we view the family, it's no longer just me making decisions for the family and he making decisions financially. It's what are we going to do about the kids? What are we going to do with this property? What are we going to do with this account? Like it's really cool to see. Yeah.
Isn't that a beautiful thing? I have
Yeah,
to say,
it is.
that's a beautiful thing. And it's like, it's sometimes it used to like irk me. I don't know if irk's the right way, but like the right word rather. But like, it's like, did I have to get on the housewives to realize that like I needed to make more decisions and that I needed to expand in everything I was doing. But I'm very thankful for the TV show and for the housewives a lot of times. And I'm sure you feel the same because you get into your little bubble and you don't realize that like everything is just kind of happening around you while you're holding down the fort, while you're holding down the kids, while you're making every family life perfect, so to speak, right? And making everything cute and sweet and nice so that your kids are happy, your husband lives great life, you're a great wife, but then you're missing this little piece of something that you want to do for you, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
jumping on Housewives kind of opened that door for me. And I feel like it's very similar with you as well.
Yeah, it absolutely. I've always worked in some capacity since we've been married, but never had I had to jump into the role of being a provider. I mean, last year, 1 year ago, I was the sole provider of the family because Justin had to sit out of his job for a year because of the show.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been so that it has come with its trials, but like it really has shown me that if I can do anything I want. Like if I really try, I have the confidence and the posture now to go get it. Like it's taught me to be a smarter businesswoman, to be more creative, think outside of the box, and really push my strength. Because if you can stay on a housewives show for 4 years and deal with everything that comes with that, I think you can do anything as a woman.
Oh, yeah. You become a superwoman. Try
Yeah,
14 years and then talk to me.
I know. I can't believe it because I have so many questions for you too. Like,
Feel free. Feel free. Ask me whatever you want.
I feel like I love your show. I've watched you from the beginning, and I just really admire the way that you've handled raising your family in the public
Thank you.
eye, like with such grace. And you've handled your marriage, everything about your personal life, you've done it so gracefully. And, you know, I'm at the point now where my kids, when I started, they were 9 and 6, and now they're 13 and 11. And I'm like, how do you protect your kids in this process from the fans, social media, the haters, the all of it, right? Like, I don't know about you, but it's been interesting dynamic between my daughter and I since she turned 13.
Oh, well, yes. Very interesting. Well, how invested is your daughter on the show? And has it like changed her life a little bit that she's a 13-year-old girl at school on
Yeah.
TV? How is that going?
That's exactly where the hard she loves to film, she loves the process, but what's hard now is the kids at school will come and talk to her about, you know, things I've said or done, things she did or said on the show. They'll pull up old pictures from Instagram. And it's just become she's, you know, learning how to have that, like what we have, not caring what people think, that resilience. But
Right.
geez, I'm like, how can I keep moving forward and protect them?
It's hard. Honestly, I feel like I've been navigating that for many years now. I think each child is probably it's individual, right? For each child, because some of them I like for instance, my Gino, he could care less. He doesn't want to know anything about the fame, about the show. He's an athlete. Like he actually like doesn't want to walk around the school with me and everyone looking at me. He's not into that. Where I feel like Antonia is a little bit more like she's cool about it. And so is Joey. But Gino is very like, we do not want the attention. We do not want like we're not the housewives family. Like he's just not into it. So I feel like with every kid, you kind of have to figure out the balance. But if I can give any advice, I'd say like I constantly teach them that the outside world is the outside world. Like it has nothing to do with us or how we function our family, and that they know what a hater is, right? They know how to handle a hater. They know to ignore it. They definitely know not to believe everything they read. So they're very good at like, and obviously there's a lot of stuff about us in the press constantly, right? So
Yeah.
she, especially Antonia, I feel like she's older and more in tuned with like Instagram and all of this. Like, for instance, I'll give you a perfect example. I'll never have her block. Like, we never really discuss, like, block this hater, do this, do that. But once in a while, there'll be a bad one, right? Like a real bad one. That's like the kind that like wakes up in the morning and doesn't stop until they go to sleep. Like it's become their literal job to be a hater on me or my family or whatever it might be. So when I see one like that, which I saw one actually today, which I wasn't even aware of, I text her and I said, block that account because I don't want them ever saying anything to her. I don't even want them watching what she does, you know? So very rare, but I do tell her, I'll be like, I don't like this account, block it. And she will, and she blocks them, you know, but she's also 18. She's a little older. So I feel like she gets it. She's very good at like just brushing it off. She's like, oh, please. And she also realizes that if you put a post out, and this is advice for you too, Whitney, because I think as housewives, we all do this. we'll put a post out, right? There will be 2,000 positive comments, 2,000. Everyone, we love you. You're the best. Yada. And then there's like 3 negatives. And what do? We pay attention to the 3 negative people that like wrote something on this post, right? When there's 3,000 positive comments, it's terrible. So if you do notice the same name, which I'm sure you've seen this, the same person, just get rid of them. And like, you're almost helping the hater as well, because they're obviously obsessed, right? They're fixated. Yeah. So it's like, here, go live your life. Now you don't have to watch me anymore. Go figure yourself out.
Honestly, the best thing that Instagram has done is when you block one of those haters, it blocks any account they create in the future,
which is amazing. How great is that?
I mean, I know my way around Instagram trolls. We've had a major problem in Salt Lake City with those.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that. I am like foaming at the mouth to get to that part of the conversation. And oh my God, is this your puppy?
Yeah, this is my puppy. She was chewing up my son's game, so I had to.
She is so cute. What kind of dog is that?
She's a Cavapoo. This is Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. My sister has a Rosie, the same exact dog, only big.
So I have cute. A big one too, but she is a handful.
Oh my God, she's so cute. Does she eat like your high-end shoes? That's what little dogs usually do.
Oh my gosh, no, but look what she just did. She just chewed up an Xbox cord.
Oh no. Oh my God. That is she's so cute though. She's worth it. Just get another cord.
Yeah. I would keep her in her crate, but she'd bark through the whole thing. So
unbelievable.
Another guest on
it's
today.
Fine. Don't worry. She's adorable. But anyway, I mean, to get back to this whole thing, I do think it's unfortunate because our kids are like an extension of ourselves. And I think some like really mean people think they can go through our kids, right, to get to us. So we do really need to protect our kids and just teach them how to avoid people who want to do nothing but hurt us, and be able to see that that's like a red flag and that's a bad person, and to almost like not feel sorry for yourself, feel sorry for the person that's doing that. Like they're obviously not living the best life and they're fixated on you. And I always say like, they're not truly your hater, because if the whole feed is written about you, they're your love. They're upset. They are entertained by you. They don't think you're boring. They don't think you're any of the things that they say, because they literally talk about you night and day. So find it as a compliment. I've taught my daughter that. So as your daughter gets older, tell her these things. It works,
Well, we have a saying in our house. After I had a really hard season, I started saying, because Bobby wanted Instagram. This is back when she was like 12, 11. She really wanted Instagram, and she has Instagram. I just never tag her because it's only her friends, right? I control who follows her. Still, I have full access to that. But I always say to them, if I find myself going down the rabbit hole and getting distracted, or if they're hearing something from friends, I always say, we don't have time to hear why the haters love us today.
Oh, I love that.
Let's go.
But that is such a true statement. Like, we don't have time for why they screenshot our face in 5 different ways and put it up and say, like, just leave them be. We don't have time.
We don't have time to hear why the haters love us today.
I love that. Oh my God. Love that quote. Such a good quote. This podcast is sponsored by Green Pan. Guys, you know the feeling you have when you're cooking a delicious dinner and all of a sudden the fear sets in that this beautiful meal is going to be an absolute mess to clean up. Well, that's why I want to tell you about Green Pan. So last weekend, I cooked up a delicious Sunday sauce in my gorgeous Green Pan pans, and it was not the typical sticky food cleanup job I've had in the past. My food never sticks to my pans anymore now that I cook with Green Pan. As you know, I'm super health conscious, but I've never thought about what my pans are made out of. That is until I got Green Pan. Green Pan makes the best ceramic nonstick cookware money can buy. They revolutionized home cooking way back in 2007 when they introduced the world to ceramic nonstick cookware, the first and best toxin-free alternative to cookware with traditional coatings. Green Pan's cookware is free of PFAs, PFOA, and lead. Plus, check this out. Green Pan is backed by a 60-day return policy, so you have plenty of time to try them out and make sure that they're right for you. So toss your plastic pans and upgrade your cookware with Green Pan. Head to greenpan.us and use promo code Melissa, and you'll receive 30% off your entire order, plus free shipping on orders over $99. That's right, 30% off. So head to greenpan.us and make sure you use promo code Melissa, or they won't know that I sent you. A new year brings new goals, right? But what about your skincare goals? It's not too late to start. Small, easy changes in your routine can have amazing results, and your secret weapon should definitely be Dime Beauty. Dime Beauty is clean, high-end skincare that is affordable, and it really, really works. Dime didn't sacrifice performance just to make it clean either. And when I say clean, Dime is 100% transparent about every single ingredient, so you can use their products daily with confidence. So I wanted to take the guesswork out of my routine. So I started with their Works collection. I don't have to remember the order of a 10-step routine. No one has time for that. I especially do not. The Work system is everything you need in one powerful package. It includes a gentle cleanser, a toner, 2 incredible serums, and 2 luxurious moisturizers. Dime has over 2 million happy customers, and their product reviews literally are all 5 stars. If you haven't checked out Dime, like, where have you been? Love your skin again. Go to dimebeautyco.com now and unlock 20% off when you use code Melissa20. That's dimebeautyco.com. Use Melissa20 for 20% off. You are going to love this stuff. Well, speaking of trolls.
Yeah, trolls, Salt Lake City. Oh my God.
No, we need to speak of trolls for a second. I have to tell you that people used to say watching Jersey that they would get anxiety. They'd be like, I can't even watch it anymore. I have anxiety. Or like, you know, our show brings a lot of anxiety watching, I would say. Holy crap. I watched your reunion and I looked at my husband and I said, I have anxiety right now. Like, I totally understand what people say about our show, because now I feel that watching this. Like, Monica really brought that level for me of like, you know what it is? It's that like talking to a wall situation where it's like anything that you say, the person's not understanding, or it's like they're going to twist it, and there's no like real form of communication. And it was driving me crazy. Like the way that whole, first of all, are you in shock that she got fired? Were you expecting it?
I mean, I did not know what was going to happen, but it's an unfortunate situation, but I'm glad she did, because people like Monica, she trolled us for 4 years, was obsessed, stalked us,
Wow.
followed everything we did, curated her entire storylines around us, right? So that's, to me, is like,
wow.
If you stand for that, then anyone can come on and do that. And I mean, as someone who's come on as Whitney Rose, shared my real life, what I go through every year, every season, I'm not making it up. I'm just sharing what's coming in and out of my door at the time, right?
Well, that's what housewives are supposed to do, and what it's supposed to be. And I just want to say, like, bravo to Bravo for really taking a stance on this and saying, like, listen to all of the other franchises and people troll accounts. Like, don't think that this is what you're going to do when you're going to become a real housewife. Like, bravo, bravo. I'm so happy that they did that, because they're really setting a precedent on, like, you know, right? They're like really making their mark there. Like, this is unacceptable and we'll never do this again. You know?
Yeah, I'm really grateful Bravo protected us and had our back, because we've been through a lot. We went through it with Jen. Salt Lake City's had a lot going on, right? With issues, especially with online stuff, with bullying on Instagram among the cast. So I'm so grateful that Bravo protected us and said enough is enough. And I love your wall analogy, because it literally, whenever she's involved in a conversation, it's like bouncing a ball off the wall, right? It just comes right back to you. I mean, it's like, I had to fast forward through my own reunion because I could not take her and Lisa screaming at each other the whole time. Like, it.
And listen, I know exactly what you're saying. There's no ending to the conversation. So it's like when you are dealing with a situation where it's like talking like to a wall. I don't know how else to explain it, because it's like there's never going to be an ending because you're not getting through, and there's never really like a full adult conversation going on. So it's like, it's hard. And that's how I kind of felt when you guys were discussing things with Monica, because I was getting annoyed. Like I wanted to host that because I was like, wait. Like I didn't get an answer yet. Like I feel like she would kind of beat around the bush on a lot of the answers. And I'm like, no, why is Andy not like, I'm not accepting that answer. I need to understand like why she did these things. Like she just kept putting it on the other people with this account, but it wasn't like, I wanted her to take full accountability. Like I did this. And like, I feel like she didn't say that. Right.
Well, that was the hard thing is like she came in with zero remorse, took zero accountability, and she wasn't sorry. She said she'd do it again.
Right.
And, you know, she even went as far as thinking she was become iconic by bringing a burn book.
Right.
And, you know, here people right now are really coming after Salt Lake. And one of the biggest things that I see every day is, how can you forgive Heather who lied to you for a year or 2 years, you know, however long it was, but you can't forgive Monica. Well, yes, the black eye situation, Heather lied about it. I get why. I don't like that she did it, but Heather took accountability. She sat there and answered every one of Andy's questions.
Right.
And Monica sat there and blamed everyone else. She never took accountability for, yes, she was a part of the account. Yes, she stalked us. And she wasn't sorry. She said she wasn't.
You know what? And what Heather was lying about was also something that had to do with herself. It wasn't about her hurting everyone else, right? So it's much different than like someone lying, but they've actually been torturing you for the last 4 years.
Exactly.
Heather was not torturing you guys. She wasn't being fully honest, but she wasn't hurting you either. So it's there's a big difference there.
Yeah. And there was a big legal side to the black eye as well. So I get why Heather did what she did. I understand whether anyone likes it or not. You can see where her point of view, right? Because she explained it.
So do you remember this Von T's account? Like, do you remember things it used to say to you, like specific things that, would this be an account that you would notice and be like, who is this evil human?
So not out of the gates. No, not at all. In fact, they were never really rude about me in the beginning. It was all about Jen Shaw, exposing Jen Shaw.
Got it.
I went through, so I never even followed the account. I never engaged with the account. If they said something extremely nice, I hearted the message maybe 3 times or
Got
something.
it. So
like
they were
that.
They were nice to you.
They were nice to me.
Okay.
However, it was what behind the scenes, there was a few things they posted that weren't, but they weren't anything that I mean, 1,000
So
accounts.
they didn't keep you up at night. You weren't one of the people that this account was like trolling.
No, but here's the problem: is that account allegedly is related to 2 other accounts that were relentless against me, my husband, my daughter, my marriage, my business. So, you know, it's
so frustrating.
She says she wasn't a part of those, but there's enough like evidence, if you will, to believe that she was in some capacity or knew about it. And, you know, right. I don't know, but it was also her best friend turned on her, and that's how we got all the information, right? Tanisha. So I got to see the text messages and DMs between the group of them. And I don't care what the account posted. What Monica said about me in messages behind my back is right. What I was like, okay, I'm glad I found out now, because this would have come back and bit me later. You don't like me. You made all this up to be my friend to get on the show.
Yeah, you can't listen. It's like they can't hire actresses to be. She's literally coming in her role. She thinks she's coming in like her acting position, and she's like planning it out with her mother that she hates. It's just the most bizarre. Like, I cannot handle it.
Talk about her mom, because, you know, I'll be sensitive here because I do have a very dysfunctional relationship with some of my family members, and I had to stop talking to my father because it was so toxic.
Wow.
And I haven't talked to him for 2 years. So I get what that looks like. And that's why I had empathy and sympathized with her and really gave her a chance, because there's all these red flags and all these rumors about her, but I ignored them and just focused on getting to know her. as she presented herself. But her mom, like, who do you think wanted to be the housewife more, her or Linda, her mom?
I
Like,
mean, they both equally thought this was like their big break, I think. Like
yeah,
I'm not sure who wanted it more. I think they're in like a competition type of relationship. I think it was sad to watch that. I did sympathize with her. Like, if I didn't know all of the other things she's done wrong, I would say, like, hurt people, right? So I do see that in her, and I see her just never being taught how to treat people nicely because she was never treated nicely,
well,
you
it's
know?
hard though. I guess what I'm trying to like get at is it's like hard to believe anything that she says now because I hear that her and Linda are just fine. Like
Really?
that's the word on the street. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I wish Monica the best. I wish Linda the best. I hope that Monica's girls are doing well and we'll see what Monica's next chapter is. But you, like, you can't sustain lying on the show.
No.
Some people do for a while, but
You
it always,
cannot. You always get caught. There is no way. The truth
yeah.
always comes out between the show, between the Instagrams, there's threads, there's Twitter. There's just too many avenues now. Like, just forget it. Just come on and be you and own your shit. And that's it. It's like, there's no other way around it. There's just not in this day and age. I don't even know how people like people know every move everyone makes. There's cameras everywhere. There's like, I said that to my mom the other day. I'm like, so when daddy used to leave the house, I'm like, you had no cell phone, no beeper. Like, how did you know what time he was going to come home for dinner? Like, how do you know where he is? Like, she's like, you don't. You just wait for them to come home. And I'm like, and then they just walk in the door whenever they walk. And it's just so crazy to me. Like, I don't even remember that life, not having the cell phones and stuff. It's like insane.
No, I know. I mean, I got a cell phone when I was 17.
Yeah.
But I do remember the days where we had to call, like, I call my friend's house and be like, "Hi, is Melissa home?
Yeah.
Okay, can I ride my bike over?" You know?
Those were the days though. Like I miss that so
You know,
much. I miss
the
that
kids
so
will never
much.
know what that's like. But it's true. You can't do anything anymore. Like everyone's always, especially, I can't imagine being in your shoes because just 4 seasons in already, I know I'm being photographed and filmed when I'm in public.
Yep. When you don't even know it. Like when you do not
Yeah.
even know it. Like I could be checking out at ShopRite and they're behind me videoing it and I had no idea that, and then they post it later on. I'm like, "Oh, all right. You should have said hi or something." It's like
Yeah.
it's the
Just,
hard part of being on
yeah.
reality TV. Obviously, we get a lot of perks, right? With our businesses, and you have a great podcast. And,
Mhm.
I have this, I have Envy, I'm opening a new store. There's always great perks, but there's also a lot of like negatives. There's the pros and the cons with this whole reality TV world. But I will say, like, you know what Monica should do? She should go do House of Villains. That's what she should do.
Yeah,
she
seriously.
she should go jump on House of Villains. Like that would be the perfect show for her because that's I think where she belongs.
She would kill it. She would
Right?
actually do well. That's where she belongs.
Guys, it's a new year and I know how it is. You make that resolution, you stick to it for a few days, but then life gets in the way, right? It's hard to stay motivated when you don't have someone sticking with you through your journey, especially when it comes to fitness. That's why I want to tell you about Peloton. Peloton helps you start no matter what level you're at. Wherever you're starting, there's thousands of classes to get you moving. Whether that's beginner or advanced rides, feel good live DJ rides, or artist theme rides, they've got something for you. And Peloton bike instructors are one of a kind. They keep you motivated from day one. You guys are going to love each and every one of them. They'll show you the basics, help take the guesswork out of your workout, and they always encourage you to build from there. Guys, we've all been there. You want to do a workout, but you're going to miss the latest episode of your favorite show or a big sporting event. Well, Peloton Entertainment keeps you moving. You can watch your favorite TV shows and live sports as you ride, which is perfect for those days when you don't want to miss a thing. Wherever you're starting, get moving with a Peloton bike or Bike Plus rental at www.onepeloton.com/bike/rentals. Terms apply. Apartments.com has helped millions of renters find their perfect places. And the beauty is they are all different. None of us are the same. So why should our homes be? Someone may want hardwood floors. Someone else may say carpet all the way. That's a questionable call, but hey, to each their own. Some may want a doorman. Others may say I could open the door myself. But apartments.com has all the right tools to help you find the perfect place that's uniquely perfect just for you. Sort through and filter listings by amenities and make sure you never miss out on their instant alert option. With more than 1 million available units for rent, you're sure to find the place that's right for you. So whether you're looking for a place with a basement, a yard, a pool, or everything in between, apartments.com has got you covered. Visit apartments.com, the place to find a place. I know this is kind of personal, but do you want to talk at all about how you left your religion at all? Like how you've left and where you're at with that right now? I mean, you could talk as little as much as you want about it.
Yeah, no, it's such, I thank you for asking because I just recently lost my grandfather. His funeral was last week. And it is sad. He was 92, but it was beautiful in a sense because I got to remember the legacy that I come from. So my mom's side, both of her parents come from like Mormon pioneer families. So my family really was responsible for building Utah. Like they came across the plains, which was
wow,
Smith, and founded American Fork, Pleasant Grove, like a bunch of the all of the land here in the general like 100 miles my family owned.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, so it's
That's pretty
cool.
crazy.
Farmland. Yeah. So my grandpa was born in a chicken coop. He had nothing and he built this huge legacy of farming. He's a cattle rancher. He ran 600 head of cattle until he was 92. He bred racehorses. So he like really went from nothing to having a legacy. Like, I mean, we're talking I'm the 5th generation of a Mormon pioneer family. I'm named after a Mormon pioneer who came across the plains and died during giving childbirth. Wow. So I would say I'm no longer Mormon. I grew up very Mormon. I was devout. I was a Molly Mormon, they call them, where you do everything right. Did everything, dotted my I's, crossed my T's, mind my Q's. And when I was 18, I had the opportunity when I graduated high school, some of my girlfriends were going to Maui for a senior girls trip. And I chose to go on a three-week church history tour.
Wow.
So I got on a bus and I drove all the way from Utah, all the way to Palmyra, New York and back, and went to every church history site along the way. So that same night though, I came home and had my first beer.
Okay, because
there's no balance here. Like what just happened? So that confused me and I started down the path of, wait, do I really believe this or is this just what I've been told I need to do?
Right.
Am I seeking validation because I'm not getting it at home? Am I just finding that validation from church? Like it's feeding me that I'm like getting all of my validation and approval from my church leaders and my peers that way.
Right. And balance and structure. And it's like, oh, I'm part of something that loves me and important. And this is my faith. And I get that.
It was like escapism. Like I was escaping in the church. It's like escapism. So it was like, I really appreciate the years I spent, but I also had a lot of years of hard times and some abuse happened and things like that. So I would say, I've left I haven't been active for 17 years. And I have removed my name from the records, which was devastating to my family given our heritage.
Right.
But for me, that was the final step for me to have closure on the past. But going to my grandpa's funeral, it's like, yeah, I am very proud of my family legacy and my ancestors. I would not be walking the path I walk had they not had the courage and faith to do what they did, even though I don't believe in the doctrine.
Right.
But I believe in the hardworking people. That's where my entrepreneurism comes from, my hard work ethic, and my resilience. That's in my DNA.
Well, it's a beautiful thing that you figured that out and know where you want to stand and know what your faith is right now. And is your husband the same? Are you guys the same or how does that go?
Yeah, so he was born and raised LDS. He, in fact, was the first person in his entire family ever to
Wow.
leave.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
generation upon generation. So, um, it's been harder for him. He's a little bit, I would say, further behind on the journey of it being concrete for him that he is no longer LDS. He was actually, I removed my name from the church, and he was excommunicated.
Got it.
So, um, it's the difference of men and women. Men hold the power in the church, so he wasn't following the rules, so he got kicked out.
Oh, and
So,
that's how that happens. Okay.
yeah, and I wasn't following the rules, but they wanted to keep me.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
So they were like, no, we like her. She's good. We're keeping her. Well,
sitting around
thank you. I
houses.
wanted to ask you, I didn't know how much you wanted to
Yeah,
talk about it, but I was interested in that because I just find the whole, it's very interesting. Anything that's out of my faith, I am always curious about other faiths and how they go and the thought process on everything. So,
yeah, I'm very spiritual. I would say that I'm raising my kids to believe in God, higher power, something we live in a gratitude mindset, and you always give the gratitude back to your creator. So, for example, I pray to higher power. My daughter prays to Heavenly Father, and my son prays to creator.
wow.
So it's just like a different language, but we're all saying the same
Wow,
thing.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, and we've been going on and off throughout the years to non-denominational Christian church because
Okay.
my kids actually love it. They love going for like the music and
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love that. Okay, good. Well, thank you for sharing. I was very curious and I was like, I didn't know if you would want to, really talk about it or not. I don't like to push anything, but I was so interested.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very open about it.
Okay, good. You know what? I feel like you and I we didn't meet at BravoCon for the first time, right? But we hung out there and we did a panel together. And I was
Yeah,
like, I could just tell you're a girl's girl. And I loved you from the start. We had a great panel. Who were we on with? Like we were with Gigi and Lindsay Hubbard, right?
yeah, and Gina from Orange County.
And I love her too. I just had her on the podcast too. She's so awesome. I love her. I feel like I don't know, she's like a New Yorker. She is a New Yorker, but I love
Yeah,
her. I think she's awesome. Did you see Watch What Happens Live? I want to clarify this up. I had somebody just went on Watch What Happens Live for Potomac. She was a new housewife that I guess this was her first season. It was her first BravoCon, and I have to admit I haven't watched the Potomac Housewives I feel like I like the Potomac Housewives a lot. I just haven't seen like the most recent season or
yeah,
two. And her name was Anika. And she went on Watch What Happens Live and she said that she didn't have like, I guess one of the questions was, it was your first BravoCon and who was the most dismissive? And she said, I hate to say this, but I want to say Melissa Gorga. She's like, but Joe Gorga was so amazing. So I was like, oh my God. And everybody was like sending that to me. And I was like trying to figure out the situation because it's so unlike me. That is like, I would never be purposely rude to
no,
anyone. If anything, I just feel like there's so much going on at BravoCon. And I will say, Joe is known to like have a conversation and keep going and going while I'm like always tired and my feet hurt and I want to like keep it moving. So I can see that. But so I found her on Instagram. I DM'd her and I was like, I apologize. I am so sorry. I would never be rude to a newbie or not give you time or say hello. And she was so gracious and so nice. She came back and she was like, Melissa, you probably didn't even realize my husband was talking to Joe and they were talking and you walked over to Joe and then I walked over to my husband, but you were kind of like, you just kind of like were tired and walked away. And I was like, I apologize. Like I didn't even realize I did it. And sometimes, it's a lot because like I feel like everyone knows us, right? But we don't necessarily know everyone else. So it kind of puts us in like a position where, if I knew that was her, of course I would have spoke to her. I would have spoke to anybody, but you never really know the situation. So I just want to clarify that on my podcast.
clarify it because it's so hard because I hate when we get asked those questions because it just sets us up to pin us against each other. But it is true, like outside of the housewife shows, if there's other shows that maybe I don't watch as regularly, it's hard to like there's higher turnover on those, right? So it's hard to
Yes, I
know
don't know all the new people. And I'm
yeah,
sure, like, who knows? Sometimes I'm like in my head, I'm thinking about something. It's BravoCon, it's freaking chaos to begin with.
people,
So it's like, and you want to give everyone attention, right? You want to talk to everyone and every fan. And it's like, it's exhausting. So if you hit someone at the wrong moment when they're in their head and they're just walking away, like, who knows? But I felt terrible. So I just wanted to clear that up, that we did message each other and that was the situation, and it
okay.
was fine for anybody who was listening. No, I'm not rude, right? Whitney, how was I when I first met you?
Yeah, I recognized you. It was the very first BravoCon that I went to,
Okay.
in New York. So 2 years ago,
Okay.
we were at the Gansevoort, and you were in the lobby, and I instantly recognized you and Joe. And I just came up to you and I said, "Hey, now that I've been at BravoCon for one day, I totally get it. You don't want to talk to me right now. I just have to tell you that I do love you, and I've always been a major fan. And next time I want to come to Jersey and see your store."
Oh, you're
I don't know
so
if you remember
cute.
that. And then you're like, "You're so nice." And then I could tell Joe was dead. He's just staring at me and he's like, "Hey, this next BravoCon," it was exactly what you said. He wouldn't stop talking to
Yeah.
Justin. It was so amazing. He and Justin were having a great time. And yeah, you and I like just went off. I went to one corner, you went to another. I'm like, I gotta sit down and just be alone for a minute.
Yeah.
Like,
See, it's like, it depends on the time of day you hit someone up at BravoCon. I will say, like, because it is, you don't know something, they could have just walked past somebody that it startled them or they didn't like, or someone could have you just don't, there's just so much going on. So it's like, you hit
you were
Joe up at the
so
right time, you will be invited to Sunday dinner because that's Joe.
yeah, he was so amazing. We ran into him a lot over BravoCon, and Justin lives for those moments because the dudes just want to be with the
Of
dudes.
course. Yes. Especially
No,
like
but
the cool dudes, right?
so nice. You were so nice when I met you, and it was like late. It was at the end of a long day. It was late at night, and I think you even DM'd me back after because I was like, "I want to get Prism into your store, my jewelry line."
Oh, okay, good.
And
Did I
yeah, and
DM?
yes,
Did I answer
yeah,
you?
you
Okay,
did.
good.
You did.
Okay,
You were
good.
great. And I got your team's information, and I know now we're fast forward a year later, but I barely missed the whole like scuffle in the lobby. Remember?
Oh my
Um,
gosh, don't even
I was
remind
like
me. What a shit show.
5 minutes away from that. That happened right after I saw you.
What a shit show. Right. So that's why we were probably just like staring into space. That was very late night in the hotel.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my God. It's so crazy that this season that's about to air, we actually touch on that BravoCon, which is like, feels like
But
forever ago at this point. It's so crazy. But anyway, Whitney, thank you so much for taking the time to come on today. I think you're awesome. I think empathy really helps solve a lot of problems. And I think many of us learn how to practice empathy from you because you're great at that. So guys, make sure you guys check out Whitney's podcast, the Wild Rose podcast. And you know what? You need to come out to New York. We need to go to dinner. We need to hang out. You need to come to Envy, like you said originally. We need to do all these
yes,
things.
yeah, I'm coming. I keep telling Julius I'm gonna come to the salon and have him do my hair.
Yes.
So we'll hit you up when I come out. And I would love to give your listeners a discount code for Prism if that's cool.
Go right ahead. Oh my God.
Do you want it to be on display, 20% off?
Yes, guys, on display, 20% off. What's the website?
It's prismlifestyle.co. And hopefully soon you'll see it in Envy and the new spot.
Yes, of course. You know what? Let's talk about that. I'll shoot you a text when we're done here. And everyone, we all need to remember Whitney's saying we don't have time to hear why the haters love us today. So with that, thank you for coming on. We'll talk soon. Guys, don't forget to go to the website, use code on display to get 20% off her gorgeous jewelry. And thanks for chatting with me today. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, Brooke, we're gonna miss our flight.
We didn't finish the promo.
Can we just record it on the plane?
I will not be that person.
What if we record it in the bathroom?
Ew, no, that is disgusting.
Well, we'll just have to go off the cuff and tell everyone about our podcast right now, called Gals on the Go.
Well, we are two gals constantly on the move with weekly conversations about friendship, navigating your 20s, relationships, trends, and just our exciting, chaotic lives.
Brooke Nietzsche and Danielle Carolyn, please come to the gate.
Well, I think it's time to board now, but this should be enough, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they won't use it.
But in case they do, new episodes of Gals on the Go drop every Wednesday.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Hold on to your jingle bells. Pluto TV has all your holiday favorites for free. Enjoy Christmas classics like Scrooge with Bill Murray or Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. Plus, dive into festive channels like Holiday Movie Favorites by Lifetime or Hallmark Movies and more. Download the Pluto TV app on all your favorite devices and start streaming holiday favorites on live channels and on demand. With thousands of free movies and TV shows, Pluto TV is your home for the holidays. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.